Pros don't heal faster by accident. They follow a system, and I'll show you exactly how to use the same recovery principles with your injuries. Hi, I'm Will Moore from More Performance, and today I'm going to be breaking down why injuries linger and how to recover them like the professionals do. So most people aren't broken or injury prone, they're just using the wrong approach. So hit subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with all of my useful videos and information to keep you on top of your game or activity. So most people will feel pain or something might happen, they rest until the pain fades, and then when it is gone, they jump straight back into full training or competition. The issue then flares back up again, or something else goes wrong. So the pain drops, confidence spike, load shoots up, and the injury flares up again. So this isn't a motivation or your body, it's just a wrong approach and a plan problem. So pain is the worst marker for if you have recovered. It's a signal, but it is only a fraction of the picture. I'm going to talk to you about the healing process that your body must go through before it is safe and able to get back to fully normal without worrying about reoccurring injuries. So when you get injured, whether it's a sprained ankle, a pulled muscle, a tendon strain, your body immediately starts a complex repair process. It doesn't just heal overnight, it moves through 4 key stages, and understanding them is the difference between recovering properly and staying stuck in that frustrating stop-start cycle. So the first stage is inflammation, and it's often misunderstood. Most people think of it as inflammation as a bad thing, something to avoid or get rid of, but it's actually your body's built-in emergency response. The moment a tissue is damaged, your body floods the area with blood, oxygen, and immune cells. This triggers swelling, warmth, and sometimes redness or tenderness. It can feel alarming, but it's your body's way of protecting the area and clearing out any of the damaged cells. During this stage, movement is limited and the focus is protection, not perfection. Think of it as your body putting up a scaffolding around a building that's been damaged. You wouldn't start working on it straight away. So pain is your guide here. Gentle movement and light isometric movements can help to keep blood flow moving without aggravating the tissue. You don't want to completely rest for days on end. That just slows the body's healing process, but you want to avoid heavy stretching, high loads, or explosive activity. So ice, compression, and elevation can help with the comfort in the first couple of days, but the real goal is controlled activity, staying mobile within tolerance. This stage is short, but it sets the tone for everything that comes after it. If you rush it or stay still too long, the next phases get very messy. So stage 2 is repair. So after inflammation settles, your body enters the repair phase. This is when it begins laying down new tissue, but here's the catch. New tissue is weak, disorganized, and messy. Think of it like patching a hole in a wall with way too much plaster. It fills the space, but it's not smooth or strong just yet. This phase often tricks people. Pain usually starts to ease, swelling goes down, and the movement feels easier. That's when many people go straight back into full training, but that's exactly when the re-injury kind of re-happens again. So your body might feel better, but the tissue isn't ready for the full load. During this stage, you should focus on gentle strength work and reactivation. So controlled isometric, small range movements and gradual increases in load will help the tissue align properly. Examples are light band work, body weight squats, heel raises, gentle glute bridges, and you're just reminding the body how to move, but you're not testing its limits just yet. This stage normally lasts a couple of weeks, and it's all about patience, consistency. If you do too little, you'll lose mobility and strength. Too much, and you'll rip through that early repaired tissue. The key is slow, progressive loading that encourages your body to rebuild it intelligently. Stage 3 is remodeling. So once the new tissue is in place, your body begins to remodel it. This is where the healing process shifts from repairing the damage to building the resilience. So collagen fibers, the scaffolding that makes up our tendons, muscles, and ligaments, start to realign along the lines that you place stress on them. So in other words, your body strengthens exactly where you train it to. That's why progressive loading is so important here. So if you keep avoiding movement, the new tissue stays weak and stays unorganized. If you train it intelligently, it adapts and becomes durable and robust. This is the stage where structural rehab really matters. You need a balance of strength, stability, and control. Exercises might include things like single leg strength work, balance drills, and slow controlled tempo exercises. We also start adding functional patterns in, so moving in ways that mirror your sport or daily life. So pain shouldn't be your only guide now. Instead, track how you feel 24 hours later. So mild soreness is fine, but sharp pain, swelling, or stiffness the next day means you've gone a little bit too far too soon. So remodeling is often where people lose patience, but it's where the magic really happens. Your goal is not just to be pain-free, but it is to be robust again. So stage 4 is return to performance. The final stage is return to performance, the stage where you can bridge the gap between rehab and real life. So by now the tissue is realigned, restructured, but it still needs to relearn how to handle the unpredictable speed, change of direction, power, and impact. So if you're a runner, this means reintroducing faster intervals, longer distances, and hill work. If you play football or rugby, it's about sidestepping, sprinting, and reacting. If you lift, it's about rebuilding full range and intensity under load. The key here is controlled chaos. Start predictable small hops, slow turns, gentle accelerations, then layer in speed, fatigue, and reaction drills. We also add plyometric and reactive balance work to retrain your nervous system and protect to stabilize automatically. So this is also the stage where people are most likely to relapse because pain is gone and confidence starts to return. But skipping this phase is like rebuilding a car engine and never testing it at high speeds. It might look fixed, but it's not road worthy. So finish your recovery properly and you'll not only get back to your sport, you'll perform better than you did before you got injured. So in summary, inflammation is the body's alarm. Protect it, don't panic. Repair, build early tissue, gently load, and no rushing. Remodeling is strength and control to rebuild durability. And then return to performance, restore confidence, speed, and chaos tolerance. Healing isn't about waiting for time to pass, it's about giving your body the right signal at the right time. If you match your actions to the right stage, recovery becomes faster, stronger, and longer lasting. So once you understand those 4 stages of healing, this is exactly how I use them day to day inside More Performance in our clinics in St Ives, Alconbury Weald, and Cambridge to help people recover properly, not only just get out of pain, but come back stronger. So when someone sees us in clinic, maybe it's a runner with runner's knee, rugby player with an ankle sprain, or someone who's tweaked their back in the gym, the first thing we do is figure out exactly which stage of healing they're in. That's because treatment for inflammation looks completely different from remodeling or return to sport. If we get that wrong, everything else just becomes guesswork. So assessment and diagnosis. So during the assessment, I'm looking for clues. So how long ago did the injury happen? Is there still swelling, heat? Is there any sharp pains? Which movements trigger the symptoms and what movements are absolutely fine? So those answers will tell me whether the body is still in the inflammation phase, the repair phase, or if we've moved into the remodeling and performance. So I'm not just looking for the sore spots, I'm looking at why that area is overloaded in the first place, and often the site of pain is just a symptom, not a cause. For example, if someone's hurt their knee, I'll check their hips for control, I'll look at their foot mechanics. If the shoulder hurts, I'll look at the upper back mobility and look how the core is stabilizing it. By linking the symptoms to the stages of healing, I can make sure we're treating the real problem and not just chasing pain. Early treatment and load management. So once we know the stage, I'll build the treatment plan around it. In the early inflammatory phase, the focus is to protect, settle irritation, and maintain gentle movement. We might use hands-on therapy, light isometric exercises, and breathing drills to calm the system. It's all about finding the line where you're stimulating healing and not aggravating it. As inflammation fades, we enter the repair phase. I'll start reintroducing activation work, so small range exercises to wake up the right muscles. This could be glute bridges, band work, controlled range split squats. The idea is to remind the body how to move without fear. So rehab and strength building. So then we move into the remodeling phase. So my favorite part is this phase. So here's where we're rebuilding the tissue quality, movement patterns and strength. I use tempo-based exercises, single leg balance work and progress resistance training. This is also where education becomes crucial. Teaching the person what a good load feels like versus a bad pain. Once they understand that distinction, their confidence will skyrocket. So I often tell people pain is feedback, it's not failure. It's just information. Our job is to listen to it, interpret it, and make small adjustments, not panic and stop moving altogether. The return to performance. So finally, we enter the return to performance stage where rehab meets real life. So now we bring back speed, reaction, and unpredictability. For field sport athletes, that means acceleration and sidestepping. For runners, graded intervals and hill work. For gym goers, full range lifts and tempo control before they go to heavy loading. This stage is where people rebuild their trust in their body. They start to realize they're not fragile, they're adaptable. And that's powerful because confidence is often the last thing to heal after an injury. Long-term prevention. Even after someone's pain is gone, we keep using those 4 stages as a framework for injury prevention. If they feel a niggle coming along, they'll know exactly what phase they're in and how to respond. A short deload, mobility reset, or specific activation session can prevent it becoming a full-blown injury. That's the real goal, not only to recover, but to build resilience. So every assessment, every plan, every bit of rehab we design revolves around those 4 stages. They give structure, confidence and clarity for us as a clinician and the people we're helping. Because when you match the right treatment to the right stage, progress stops being random and starts to be reliable. That's how we do it at More Performance, using the science of healing to guide smart, individualized rehab that gets people back doing what they love doing. I've put these principles in a free sports injury report. 7 methods pros use, including when ice helps, when it slows healing, how to reintroduce strength, how balance works, plus my free return to sport checklist. You can download the free sports injury report using the link below this video. Start today, save weeks of guesswork. So where there's a will, there's a way. Subscribe to my channel for more ways to stay free from injury, active and happy.